MTN SME Hub. Link to growth. Link to success. Link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome back to the Big Small Business Show. In studio with us today, we've got George Diab. He's the founder and CEO of Gas Accounting, and we're talking about tax benefits. We've just been talking about the Small Business Corporation, and I understand there's also another benefit to being a small business corporation, which is accelerated depreciation allowance. What is that all about?
Typically, what would happen is when you purchase an asset in your business, you can depreciate it or there's wear and tear on those assets. And SARS allows you to deduct about 20% from your taxable income of the value of those assets on an annual basis. If you're a small business corporation and you've purchased this asset as a production asset, SARS will allow you to deduct the full value, 100% of that asset as wear and tear off your income tax. So it gives you a tax benefit immediately.
Okay, so I'm doing under 20 million rand. I'm making juice.
Yes.
I buy a big juicer machine for R1 million.
Yes.
Effectively, I depreciate that in the year that I bought it.
Correct.
R1 million off my taxable
income. Correct, 100%. So you would take R1 million off your taxable income, and that may put you into an assessed loss position, whereon you wouldn't be paying any tax for that year, and you'd carry forward that assessed loss until you start making profits within the business.
I think we have to have a show on assessed losses because a lot of people don't understand what an assessed loss is, and also the changes to the tax law around that.
Yes.
So maybe we just earmark that for another day. But let's carry on with more tax incentives, ETIs, employee tax incentive.
Yes.
What's that all about?
So again, government wants to promote small businesses or actually business growth, and they also want to promote youth development. Mm-hmm. So they understand that a youth, like a young person, is way more likely. I think that it was like 70% more likely to be employed if they have at least 12 months worth of work experience. So what SARS is now doing is if you hire youth, so people between the ages of 18 to 29 in your business that are South African residents or citizens and earn below the minimum wage, which is about 4,500 rand, SARS will give you a tax credit of up to
below the minimum wage.
Minimum wage or less.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So you can't be earning. You can't be in a high tax bracket.
Okay.
This only applies to
minimum wage.
Minimum wage or below. So roughly about 2,000 to 4,500 rand monthly salary.
Right.
And if you employ those people to create opportunities, because remember, these are the guys that aren't getting opportunities, and we have to start stimulating that economy and the youth development in that sector. SARS is going to give you 1,500 rand tax credit on your PAYE bill on a monthly basis for 12 months. And for the further 12 months, so month 13 to 24, they'll give you 750 rand off your tax credit off your PAYE.
And year 3-0.
Year 3-0.
Effectively, what happens, so I'm just being very practical.
Sure.
I'm paying minimum wage.
Yeah.
And then you're a great employee, and then next year I pick up your salary. I don't get the benefit. I have to keep you at minimum wage for 2 years.
Correct.
For me to benefit.
That's correct, and that's probably one of the downsides of it. If you pick up my salary from 4.5 to let's say 5.5, you would still get a benefit, but the benefit would be apportioned. So you wouldn't get the full 1,500 benefit, but that benefit would be apportioned. Anything more than 6,500 rand a month, you don't get any benefit.
Coming back to how is there a minimum or number of youth that I have to employ or a maximum amount in order to take advantage of this benefit?
No minimums, no maximums, no registration requirements. You can have one person this month and you can claim that ETI directly back off your EMP201, which is your PAYE.
And what proof do I have to? Do I have to just show that they're under 29 or younger and that they're a South African citizen.
And that you've employed them. So you would also need an employment contract.
Okay, and an employment contract.
Correct.
So I have to show all those 3 documents for every employee that I have, and then I get this tax deduction. So I don't get the money back.
Yes.
Or I just can take it off what I owe. Is that right?
No. So it's a tax credit.
Yeah.
So you can credit that against what you owe SARS.
Yeah.
But say, for example, your credit is more than what you owe SARS.
Yes.
So you owe SARS nothing, and then you get 1,500 Rand credit.
Yeah.
SARS does actually refund you that money. So after 6 months, when we submit an EMP 501, which is essentially your biannual reconciliation, SARS will refund you the 1,500 Rand into your bank account, provided you've met all the requirements.
And like VAT, do they then come and do an audit?
Very likely that they'll be doing an audit.
Okay.
So ensure that you've got all the documentation safely stored and on file, and that it meets the requirements.
And I'm being pedantic here, but let's say you employ 10 people, and one of the 10, you've got 2 of the 3 documents.
Yes.
And they, in the audit, they pick that up. Do they rubbish the whole 10 claim, or just the one?
They would not pay out the full amount, but it wouldn't mean that they're not going to, unless they would query it. So they would request a verification. They would say, you don't have this documentation, please can you send it through so that we can now reassess whether or not this amount is refundable. And then you would furnish them with the information, and they would then refund you. In the event that you can't furnish them with that required information, they would then exclude just that one person, and then they would refund you the full ETI credit for the 9.
So this would work well in, let's call it, manufacturing environments.
Yes.
Those kinds of environments where you need to bring in people to help you build the business. And it's really incentivizing people to come into your business. And it becomes, not only you're paying minimum wage now, but you're also getting a tax incentive.
Absolutely. So manufacturing environments, construction environments, security companies, any companies where typically they're using blue-collar workers to deliver services, they would be able to then get the ETI claim. And
why would somebody use an accounting business such as yours to do that if it was that simple?
So it is that simple, but it's not that simple to get SARS to pay the refund. You would really need someone that knows what they're doing in order to action this with SARS. SARS is going to audit. They're going to verify these details. And if you don't have all the right documentation in place and know how to propose or put an argument forward with SARS, chances are you're not going to get it back.
George Diab, thank you for elucidating us about all the tax benefits that are available. I'm sure many of you watching today didn't know about all those tax incentives, and I suppose it's not all doom and gloom. There are opportunities to reduce our tax bill and get those benefits. That was to George Diab from Gas Accounting. Do stay tuned for what's coming up next.
MTN SME Hub, link to business success.